They'll be picking up the keys about now. Oh? Marilyn and Eddie, they'll be moving into the shop.
Oh, I must have been out of my mind letting you talk me into giving them the place. Imagine my shop being run by a pro.
Ex-pro.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how long it'll take her before she's giving massages in the back room.
Oh, shut up and play. Marilyn's learned her lesson. They'll turn that place into a little gold mine. You wait and see. And all you'll have to do is sit back and rake in the profits.
Fat lot of good it's going to do me in here. I mean, what am I going to spend it on?
Well, you could always hire yourself an expensive lawyer. Of course, he'd have to be good-looking, eh, Karen? Hmm? I said she could hire herself an expensive, good-looking lawyer. Hmm. You know, she's just about as good company as you are.
Karen, I want you to collect your things from your cell. You're moving in with Smith and Ferguson.
Why?
Governor's orders. Oh, there's some new prisoners arriving today. I'm sure you remember how keen you were to have a single cell when you first arrived.
Don't worry, love. You'll be nice and cosy in with us. Sleep like a baby.
Yeah, if you can stand the snoring.
Quick, get the doctor.
Quick. Press hard. On here. Open the bag, Karen.
How is she?
Looks like she's only cut the superficial veins. She's lost a lot of blood. How long's she been like this?
I don't know, we just found her.
The ambulance is on its way.
All right. Tell the governor to make sure it's not held up at the gates.
Right.
And get her blood group from records.
Will she live?
Depends. Get her to hospital in time.
Karen, go to your cell and collect your things. Then come back here and clean up this mess.
Hello, main gate. Mrs. Davidson here. We've had an attempt at suicide. An ambulance is on the way. Will you make sure it gets through without delay? The second floor. Warner. Lynn Warner. Yes, what is it?
Excuse me, Mrs. Davidson. The new arrivals have been checked in.
Well?
One of them has asked to see you.
Well, I can't see her now. Put them through the normal procedure. I'll see them all tomorrow.
Well, she did ask especially
Miss Manson, I know you're new here, but surely you can handle a routine matter such as this.
Hello, Auntie Erica. Well, what's going on? Where's Auntie Erica
That
gone?
is none of your business. Sit up straight and put that down. Did you hear what I said?
Thank you, Miss Manson.
What happened? Did someone get hurt?
That's no concern of yours. Well, this is a nice mess you've managed to get yourself into, isn't it?
Oh, I couldn't help it, Auntie. It was a mistake.
Don't take me for a fool, Barbara. It's all here in your record. You knew exactly what you were doing. Oh, I don't know what's possessed you. You've had every advantage. A good education, a mother and father who doted on you and gave you everything you ever wanted. Well, don't think you'll get the same sort of treatment in here.
You never did like me, did you? Well, it's not my fault none of the family will talk to you.
That has nothing to do with it. Whilst you're in here, you'll be treated exactly the same as any other prisoner. But I strongly advise you not to tell them you are my niece.
Why not? Are you ashamed of me?
I'm not thinking of myself. Look, it's an entirely different world in here. Believe me, the other women could take it the wrong way and make things pretty impossible for you. I know it's going to be hard for you, but it's not easy for me either.
I know, Auntie. I'm sorry. But honestly, it was a mistake.
You don't hide 5 kilograms of marijuana in your suitcase by mistake. Now you're paying the penalty for it, and there's nothing I can do about it, except give you some good advice. Don't tell the other women you are my niece or why you are in here. You could find their reaction impossible to live with. Come in.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Davidson, but Dr. Miller asked me to tell you that he'd phoned from the hospital as soon as he could.
Thank you. Oh, Mrs. Jackson, this is one of the new prisoners, Barbara Davidson. Would you show her to her cell, please? Meg, look after her for me. She's my niece, But I'd rather that information were known by as few people as possible.
Silly little fool. Bloody months she was in here for no reason. And when she gets a second chance, what does she do with it?
Yeah, well, some people just can't take it, can they?
Yeah, well, she should have thought of that before she got involved with that bloke. I mean, she's neurotic, but she's no bad kid. I just don't understand her.
What do you expect after losing a baby and a husband?
Yeah, but doing yourself in, I mean, that's not the answer, is it?
Haven't you finished cleaning up yet, Karen?
What happened? Did someone get hurt?
I'm quite sure you'll hear the gossip soon enough. Got nothing to do, ladies?
We were waiting for the dinner bell.
You'll hear it quite clearly from your own cell. Out. Karen, this is Barbara Davidson. I want you to show her around. Now, your cell is the next one down. Dinner will be shortly. Karen will show you where the dining room is.
What did happen?
One of the girls tried to kill herself.
Oh, well, I'll be in my room when you've finished.
Not exactly the Southern Cross, is it, love?
Oh, I'm sure it won't take me too long to settle in.
Nah, of course not. This is Monty and I'm Bea. Your name's Barbara, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you in for, love?
2 years.
Sure.
Truth, what'd you do? Kill someone? Well, there's no need to be shy about it. I mean, some people deserve it. Ours Bea is. She had good enough reason.
Yeah, but you don't look like the violent type. Accident, was it? Manslaughter? Oh, there are no secrets in here, love. No one gives us stuff. And we've all lost our halos.
Oh, it was all a mistake. Well, I'll be out of here soon anyway. Mrs. Davidson's going to speak for me. She's going to help me get out.
Lovely woman, the governor. Spends all the time getting young girls off the hook.
Oh, she's having me released on Monday.
Yeah, true.
No, really, she is. She is going to help me. Well, I'm Barbara Davidson. Erica's my aunt.
Oh, hi, Meg. Hasn't been a bad day. I've been helping Mum set up a new flat. You know, they're settling in really well. Well, what's up?
Oh, you don't know. It's Lynn Warner. She tried to kill herself.
What? What happened?
She slashed her wrists.
She's going to be all right?
I hope so.
Oh, I should have realised the state of mind that she was in. I was too busy with Mum and Marilyn being released. I should have seen how depressed she was.
It's hard not to take everything personally. You've got to learn to, or you'll never survive. Oh, well, I better be going. I want to be home at the usual time, just in case Marty rings.
Yeah, of course. Hey, do you want to lift home?
Are you sure?
No trouble at all.
Well, as long as you stay to dinner. I've got plenty of food. Can't get used to shopping for one.
Great, so long as you let me bring a bottle of wine. I think we could both do with a drink.
Amen to that.
Oh, God, not this old chestnut again. That movie's been on more times than the epilogue.
Wouldn't be so bad if it was in colour.
Oh, that's it hasn't been the same ever since Frankie smashed the joint up. It's about time they replaced it. Good idea, Monty. Here, what do you say, Barbara?
Well, yes, it would be nice to have a new set.
Reckon you could swing it then?
What do you mean?
Well, there's not much point having the governor as your aunt if you can't swing a few extra privileges for your friends now, is there?
It's not what you know, it's who you know, I always say.
Oh, well, I can certainly have a word with her.
Oh, it's good to have a friend like Barbara, Monty. I knew it the minute I saw her. I said, now there's a girl who looks after her friends.
Oh, of course, I can't promise anything. But I know Auntie Erica will listen to me. We were always very close. Well, I used to stay with her and Uncle Michael when I was a child every summer holidays. She used to spoil me quite a lot.
I'll bet.
Oh, that's real nice. It's real nice to have a close-knit family, isn't it, Bea?
So they tell me, Monty. So they tell me.
Shouldn't be long now.
Oh, no rush. I've got the whole evening.
It's good to have company. Quite a change.
You know, I still feel guilty about Lynn Warner. It's supposed to be my job to help people like her. Great help I was, putting her in that room with that lawyer, Mr. Wilson. You know, if I ever see him again, I think I'll...
Jean, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. If it's anyone's fault, and it isn't, then we officers should have kept a closer eye on her. But we've been very short-staffed, especially with Vera being suspended.
Vera?
Vera Bennett, one of the senior officers.
Oh, yes, we've met.
Oh, come on, Jean. She's not that bad. She's had a hard time. People just don't understand her. Come to think of it, neither do I. That'll be Greg. Dr. Miller? I asked him to call round and tell me how Lynn was going. Greg, come on in. How is she?
We got her there in time. There's going to be a while before she's up and about.
Well, at least she's all right.
Oh, Greg, do you know Jean Vernon?
Oh, I've heard about you, of course.
Hi.
Like to stay for dinner?
Thank you. Didn't you try to get Steve Miller to take on Lynn's case?
Don't remind me.
Doug. Doug. Did you come?
Do you want a cup of coffee, Monty?
Yeah, thanks.
Well, where's your coffee tin?
Oh, what's wrong with yours?
I'm waiting on you, aren't I?
Oh, what she's in for? Oh, Barbara. Don't look the violent, huh? Especially being the governor's niece.
What difference does that make? Anyway, how do you know she is the governor's niece?
Well, her name's Davidson, isn't it?
How many Davidsons do you think there are in Melbourne? They're not all related.
What do you think, Boo?
I don't know. Don't trust her, though.
Why not?
Ah, feeling. Just a feeling. I don't think she's as sweet and innocent as she makes out.
Well, why don't you just leave her alone?
No, I can't do that. I mean, there are certain women in this prison who, when they find out she's the governor's niece, might try and take advantage of her. Hey, listen, how are you getting on with that lawyer friend of yours?
He's not just a lawyer, he's a barrister.
Oh. You going to appeal?
Maybe.
What? After all this time? What makes you think you get away with it?
Look, I get cross-examined by him every time he comes in here. I don't have to put up with it from you, too.
Oh, pardon me for breathing.
Yeah, it's a real bad habit you got there, Bee.
I suppose you think you can teach me some new manners. Don't get too big for your boots, school teacher.
So, Greg, how does a prison doctor compare with private practice?
Oh, not exactly favourably. One long queue of hypochondriacs begging everything from aspirin to Valium.
The infamous pill parade.
I sometimes wonder why I bother.
Oh, I know what you mean. Working for the welfare department's like bashing your head against a brick wall. I feel like I'm working for an alien race most of the time. But then you always have the success stories which make it all worthwhile. Like Mum.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Anyone for coffee?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, look, I'll give you a hand, Nick.
No, you stay and entertain Greg. I'll do it.
I was glad things worked out for Mum. I was sorry to see her back inside.
I'm sorry to see any of them back inside, but they so often are. The prisoners have no contact with everyday life. They have no friends. Their families develop different lives for themselves. And when they're released, they're completely alone.
Yes, I know. What's the answer?
More work release programs for a start. At least then they'd have some contact with everyday life.
I don't think that'd work for most of the women. There's a deep psychological barrier to overcome.
What's your answer then? Just give up?
Oh, I think it's a bit unfair of you to accuse me of that. And I've tried to help. You've only just arrived at the prison. There was a woman in here not long ago, Helen Masters. I persuaded her to give cosmetic classes. The morale-boosting effect was almost visible, and then when she was released, they just all gave up.
And so did you.
Karen? You awake?
Yes.
You really going to appeal?
I told you. Maybe.
Funny the things you keep quiet about at your trial.
What do you mean?
Well, take mine, for instance. The first one. I told the judge that I hit that woman in a fit of temper. Got off lighter than if it had been premeditated. I said we had an argument about, oh, I don't know, something or other. I just saw red and bashed her one.
And you didn't?
No. I've been thinking about it for weeks. Ever since I caught her carrying on with my husband.
And you killed her?
Yeah. Stupid, really. Should have killed him. Would have saved a lot of time later.
What happened, Bea?
It was at the beach. We used to go to the beach every Sunday. Regular as clockwork. Him and me and Debbie. Anyhow, I caught him behind the sheds with this woman I used to work with. Well, it would have been anywhere else, it wouldn't have mattered so much. But the beach... well, it was sort of our special place. Know what I mean? Very close, Debbie and me were. Real close. Oh, she got her up with her father, I suppose. He treated her all right. But he never bothered to spend much time with her. When I got put inside, she started to hang around with a bunch of weirdos. John never stopped her. He was too busy with his fancy women. And she got hooked on drugs. She couldn't stop. Got into them more. She used to visit me and she'd say, "Please help me, Mum. You've got to help me. Oh, what can I do stuck in here?" They wouldn't even let me go to her funeral.
Oh, shut up, you bloody great ox.
Come on up, everybody get a move on.
Come on, time to get up. Get up, Davidson. Didn't you hear the bells? Davidson, are you deaf? Get up at once.
Oh, go away. It's far too early.
You'll be in solitary if you don't move.
Oh, leave me alone. I'm sleepy.
You better leave her alone or you'll be for it.
What are you talking about?
Special dispensation.
Yeah, she's the governor's niece. You upset her and you'll be in it right up to the neck.
She gone?
Yeah, but you're lucky it was the new screw and not old Vera. She would have been a bit harder to convince.
Yeah, now she's gone, things will be a bit different around here.
Yeah, with Barbara in and Vera out, things are really looking up.
Oh,
leave me alone, you two. I want to go to sleep.
Davidson, out. I want you up and dressed in exactly 2 minutes. I'm taking you to the governor.
Sit down, Barbara. Thank you, Mrs. Jackson.
How are you this morning, Auntie?
I have just been talking to Miss Madsen, an excellent officer with impeccable references who has just recently joined us from Sydney. And she has just told me she would rather resign from the service than work in a prison where the governor grants special dispensations for members of the family. I don't find it at all amusing, young lady. What do you have to say for yourself?
Oh, Auntie, it wasn't my fault. It was Bea and Monica. Well, they told her not to bother me because I was your niece.
Didn't I tell you not to tell anyone we are related?
Oh, but it's all right. The other women don't hold it against me.
Now, listen to me. Whilst you are an inmate in this prison, you will be treated exactly the same as everyone else. Do you understand? We have rules to be obeyed here, and if you do not obey them, you will end up in solitary.
You wouldn't.
Well, not this time. But stay out of trouble. Do you understand? The officers have the authority to punish you, and I cannot and will not countermand their decisions. Is that clear?
Yes, Auntie Erica.
Stay away from B. Smith and Monica Ferguson. They're nothing but trouble. Didn't Mrs. Jackson ask Karen Travers to look after you?
Yes.
Then I suggest you go and wash your face and stay out of trouble for the rest of your stay here.
Why should I? What does it matter if I go into solitary? You don't care. Nobody cares.
Well, well, look who's here. Sleeping Beauty back among the workers.
How did you go with Auntie Erica?
Yeah, what happened?
No trouble?
What'd she say?
Oh, nothing much. She saw the funny side of it. Well, she's got a sense of humour too, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she wasn't too thrilled about that officer threatening to resign, though.
Resign?
Want to toss it in, did she?
Yes. I think you went a bit too far, Bea.
Listen, love, when I want to go too far, you'll know all about it. Anyone else feature in your little chat with Auntie?
No one. I accepted full responsibility. I can look after myself.
With a little help from your friends.
She should have been here when we gave Vera the toss.
Vera?
One of the screws.
You mean to say you actually got rid of an officer?
Oh, yeah. Shut up, you.
Oh, no, tell me.
Just
I'm fascinated.
drop it, Princess. You've only been in the joint 5 minutes. Life stories come a bit later.
Lizzie, you've got to tell me. Well, I told you what happened to me, didn't I?
You heard what Bea said.
Oh, never mind her. Well, I know it must have been your idea.
Well, of course.
Oh, of course it was. Now, you tell me what you did to this Vera. Well, I know it's just going to be brilliant.
It's about Karen Travers, Mrs. Campbell. I need some information, and I thought you may be able to help. No, I just want to talk. Well, perhaps you could come round to my office sometime later today. Excuse me. Yes?
Jean Vernon here to see Mr. Wilson.
Right. Send her in. Hello, Mrs. Campbell. How does 2 o'clock sound? Yes, all right. I'll see you then. Good, thank you. Bye-bye.
I just thought you might like to know that Lynn Warner slashed her wrist yesterday. She's in a very bad way.
Really?
Yes, really. Is that all you've got to say?
What do you want me to say?
I hope you realize that it's our fault.
What do you mean it's our fault?
I blame myself as much as I do you.
Oh, well, that's really very big of you.
Don't be so bloody cynical.
I'm not being cynical. I just don't know what you're talking about. All I did was give the girl some advice.
Oh, yes, good old legal advice. You might as well have whacked her over the head with a law book. You were so damn superior. You couldn't have cared less.
Now, this is a legal practice, Miss Vernon, not a Lonely Hearts Club. I gave the girl the facts.
Yeah, the facts. Why didn't you give her a little thing called hope? That's the most important thing to these women. Sometimes it's the only thing that they have to hang on to. You don't have to be a genius to see that.
Oh, no, just a Jean Vernon, eh?
Very funny. No, I blew it too. I should have realized what she was going through. I was too busy with other things.
Well, I happen to be rather busy myself, so, if you'll excuse me.
I forgot. Time is money, right? I hope Karen Travers makes it worth your while.
Oh, I'll do my job, Miss Vernon. You do yours.
Is that advice free?
If it makes you feel better, I'll send you an account.
Don't tell me you need the money.
Barbara tells me that Vera did not strike Monica Ferguson. B. Smith set up the whole thing.
Thought it might be something like that. Will I get them in?
Well, if you do, they'll know how we found out. She'll hardly be safe then, will she?
No.
What do you mean I won't be safe? Well, you're the governor, Auntie. You can make sure I'm all right. You're in charge here.
The prisoners, your fellow prisoners, don't take kindly to what they call snitchers or laggers. At the very least, they'll make the rest of your time here as miserable as they possibly can. Don't think anyone will thank you for what you've done.
I take it I don't get any thanks from you either.
Look, Mrs. Davidson is trying to give you some good advice.
I only told you because I wanted to make up for the trouble I caused this morning. I didn't want you to think I was like them. Well, don't you understand? I thought you'd be grateful I was helping you.
That'll be all, Barbara. Go back to work.
Well, at least we know the truth.
Yes. We must get Vera back straight away. Smith and Ferguson, weren't they in prison together once before?
Yes.
I think I'll make a few inquiries.
Well, where have you two been?
Nature called.
Yeah, nature takes a whole lot longer than it used to. Why don't you do some work around here?
The doc wouldn't see me, not unless I'm really ill, he says. And look, I've got lumps all over me.
Yeah, well, I'll give you lumps if you don't lend a hand.
Smith, Ferguson, Birdsworth, I want you to come with me.
What for?
The governor wants to see you. Now move.
Don't wait up, girls.
I wonder what's going on.
We'll soon find out.
I suppose you thought you were clever setting up Miss Bennett like that.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'll tell you, Smith. I happen to know it was you who struck Ferguson, not Miss Bennett.
Oh, who told you that?
Your past record?
What?
All it took was a phone call. The three of you did exactly the same thing to an officer the last time you were all in prison together. Remember Miss Watson?
Never heard of her.
Well, she remembers you, Ferguson. The last time you had a black eye, not a cut lip. The governor told me all about it. Couldn't resist a repeat performance, could you? Well, you're not as clever as you think. I don't think it's at all funny trying to ruin the reputation of a good officer.
I thought we were talking about Vera.
I think it would be a good idea for all concerned if Ferguson and Smith were separated. Ferguson, you can move out.
Oh, fair you go.
And if there is any repetition of this behavior, you will all be dealt with severely. Now go and think yourselves lucky.
L-U-C-K.
Yeah, I can spell it. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, but you said you wanted me to help you.
Yeah, blind leading the blind. Finished. Here, read it.
Dear Karen.
Go on.
Well, you're doing real good. Sorry I'll give you a hard time. Good luck.
Yeah, that's fine.
How'll she know who it's from?
She'll know.
Hey, let's sign it and give our love to Bea and everyone.
Oh, don't be bloody stupid. You know the letters get read. You want the cops onto us.
I was only joking.
Anyhow, I've got no love for bloody B. Smith. This letter's for Karen and no one else. Goose. We'll have to post this a couple of miles away from here in case they check it out.
Well, what are you two girls up to now?
Been writing a letter to a friend.
What are you all dressed up for?
It's my birthday.
Yeah? Fantastic.
Going out in the town then?
Oh, no, I couldn't afford that. I just give myself a little treat every year by putting on my glad rags and having the odd sherry or two.
How old are you, Miss McBride?
71.
Gee, how about that, eh? Not everyone gets to be 71.
No.
Oh, well, I reckon we should have a real party.
Here?
Yeah, why not?
Wouldn't that be lovely? Perhaps you'd like to invite some friends.
Got no friends.
What about the one you're writing the letter to? We could get her on the telephone.
She's a girl I met inside. By the time she gets out, we'll be having a party for her 71st birthday.
Mrs. Campbell, I don't understand why you didn't give information to the police or come forward during Karen Trevor's trial. After all, you were there the day she killed her husband.
There was no point. She admitted she was guilty. Besides, I hardly wanted my husband to know that I'd been having an affair with his best friend. You can understand that, surely.
Yes. Oh, now, tell me what happened that day. Everything, please.
We were in bed together. Wayne said his wife was at work. When I was getting dressed, she came into the room.
Well, she just walked in?
No, she was in like kind of a trance or something. She was just staring at me and holding this knife.
What did you do?
Ran out of the house. Never been so scared in all my life.
You didn't try and warn Mrs. Trevor's husband?
No.
Why not?
She was why not. She was like some sort of zombie, like something out of one of those old horror movies. If you'd seen the look on her face.
Yes, well, tell me about Mr. Travers. What was he like?
He was okay in bed, if that's what you want to know.
Well, what sort of relationship did he have with his wife?
How should I know?
Well, he must have told you something about her.
She was a teacher. She was very religious, always talking about the kids at school. He was just bored with her, I think. He was a very demanding man. He needed someone else. So did I. Happens every day.
Women don't kill their husbands every day, Mrs. Campbell.
So she was crazy. How should I know? Have you finished? I've told you everything I know.
Did Mr. Travers ever hit you?
Hardly. I don't spend my time with that kind of man, thank you.
Would it surprise you to know that he beat his wife?
That's what she says.
She's had cigarette burns all over her body.
Well, if it's true he never tried anything like that on me, she should have left him, not killed him. I would have left him if he was really like that.
Yes.
Your governor's done us a favour, if only she knew it.
What do you mean?
Why, don't listen to your snoring for a start.
Oh, thanks a lot. You soon find out who your friends are around here.
How did Auntie Erica find out what you did with this Vera?
Oh, there are ways.
I'll tell you, huh? It's because this big know-all
Who are you calling big?
This know-all here comes up with the bright idea of using the same trick we used on some other rotten screw in the old jail. All they had to do was check up on us, and they did.
Yeah, you should have thought of something new.
When's the last time you had a thought?
Well, surely this Vera woman can't be as bad as you all make up.
Oh, no.
Well, she must have some good points.
Oh, yeah. Now, girls, let's be fair. I have always found our Miss Bennett to be a most restraining influence on the more uncouth elements in the prison. But to we women of breeding, she has always been a real soulmate.
Cellmate?
Who can ever forget that musical voice, that gentle smile, the soft touch of her hand? You know, it fair brought tears to my eyes the day I found out she even used the starch in her stockings.
So many bright, smiling faces. We'll soon fix that. Get back to work, all of you.
Thank you for coming, Dr. Barrett. Let's just sit down.
Thank you.
You are familiar with the Karen Travers case, of course?
Yes, I was really quite shocked about it. She always seemed such a gentle sort of a girl.
Did you ever treat her for burns or bruises or anything like that?
No, not really, not that I can recall.
She never came to see you at any time, looking as if she'd been struck.
Yes, there was one time. She had a black eye.
Did she tell you what happened?
No, not really. She said she bumped into a door. Her eye was quite swollen. And, no, she really came to talk about the baby.
The baby?
Yes, I recommended her to a specialist.
And she was pregnant?
Oh, Mr. Wilson, that is usually the way it happens, yes. She seemed quite happy about it at the time. I suppose she'll be about 7 months pregnant now. Pity the poor little nipper's got to be born in jail.
Dr. Karen Travers is no longer pregnant.
Really? She seemed perfectly fit.
An abortion?
Out of the question. She really wanted that baby.
Turn that off, Travers. Why? Do as I say. The governor ordered no privileges for 2 days.
The governor said no privileges for Monty and Lizzie and me.
The others didn't do anything, Miss Bennett.
Oh, no. Butter wouldn't melt in anyone's mouth in this place. Now, you listen. All of you. Some of you might like to think that you run this place. But let me tell you, ladies, that you're sadly mistaken. All of you will do what you're told, when you're told, and you will do it at once. Well, I hope I make myself clear. For all your sakes. Now, Ferguson, get your things out of Smith's dormitory. You won't be told again. Move!
Everything all right?
It better be.
I'm glad we got that other ugly business cleared up.
Oh, yes, sir. Thanks for your help.
Nothing to do with me, Vera.
Who then? Did someone talk?
Does it matter?
It does to me. The governor just said I was reinstated. If you know something, Meg, I think I have a right to be told.
Was Karen Travers pregnant when she arrived here?
What?
She was examined when she arrived.
Well, not for pregnancy.
According to a doctor, she should have been in her 7th month.
Well, you've seen her. She certainly isn't.
She said nothing about it?
Yeah, not a damn thing. Not that that's unusual.
Could she have had the pregnancy terminated?
Karen wanted children more than any woman I've ever known. If she was pregnant, she would never have had an abortion.
What makes you so sure?
I just know.
I take it you knew her well before all this happened.
I know what sort of person she is.
Yes, well enough to pay for my services, and now to tell me that you're sure she wanted to have children. You must have been on fairly intimate terms with her.
I don't see what any of this has to do with her appeal. And frankly, I don't see that it's any of your business.
No, perhaps not. Well, if you'll excuse me, I think it's time I went and had another meeting with my client. Thanks for your help. I'll keep you posted.
Please do.
Dr. Lizzie Birdsworth is outside again.
She got that damn medical book with her.
I'm afraid so.
Well, tell her to forget it. I'm not going to spend the rest of the day listening to her prattle on about imaginary lumps and bumps.
Right, Doctor.
Mrs. Travers, don't you think it's about time you told me the full story? I can't go on picking up bits and pieces of second-hand information from your doctor, your friends, and whoever else. Look, I want to help. From what I know, I think you've got a very good chance. But I must know everything. Otherwise, I might as well leave now and forget about the whole thing. And you don't want that. How about it?
When Dr. Barrett told me I was pregnant, I couldn't wait to tell my husband. I thought he'd be as happy as I was. He wasn't. He wasn't going to have the baby, and he wasn't going to listen to what I wanted. He told me to get rid of it. Well, I've been brought up to believe that abortion is murder. I went to see the priest. Wayne still wouldn't listen. That's when he started beating me. Well, what could I do? I couldn't divorce him. He was my husband. So I started to think that if I did give up the baby, maybe later, in a year or two, things would be different. When it was over, I felt so sick. I felt as if I was going to die. God, I wanted to die. All the way home, I kept trying to feel there was still life inside me. There wasn't. I'd lost it. Turned my back on God. Then I got home.
You found him with that woman.
No, no, dear. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. That's better. 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, no, do you let me lead? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
What's me?
Oh, come on, Frankie, you want to have a go?
Nah, too much excitement for me. I wonder who that could be. The Red Cross came last week. We better scram. Oh, yes, I think you girls better duck into the kitchen for a bit.
But what if it's the cops, Frankie?
They'd have kicked the door in, wouldn't they? Now, shut up and keep cool. Remember, Miss McBee, we'll be listening.
Oh, yes, if you like, dear.
Yes, I'm coming. I'm coming. Trevor.
Hi, how are you? Well, happy birthday, Auntie. This is for you. Can't stay long. Just thought I'd pop in and see how you were. Well, it's the right day, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Well, open it up. Yes. Yes, you got some lovely stuff here, Auntie. Lovely.
Yes, I know I have.
There, you see? I knew it was the right day. You had me worried for a minute. Look. Got yourself a birthday cake and everything. Got guests, have you?
No, they just left. They've gone some time ago.
Ah.
Trevor, it's been lovely to see you again, and thank you for the delightful present.
We haven't even opened it.
Oh.
Look, I'll just pour myself a drink while you finish unwrapping it. Fresh glass through here?
Oh, no, don't.
G'day.
G'day. Trevor, these are my friends. This is Doreen, and this is Frankie. We've been having a little party.
I didn't know you had any friends called Doreen and Frankie.
Well, you do now, don't you, Trevor?
Vernon. Didn't you hear me call?
I've said all I've got to say to you. Now, if you excuse me, I'm very...
You're in a hurry, yes?
What do you want?
Well, I've been thinking over what you said, and I know a good lawyer who would be willing to spend some time, when he has the time, to help these women.
Why the sudden change of heart?
That's not really fair. You hardly know me.
I'm not sure I've wanted to up until now.
Business is business, Miss Vernon.
And people are people, Mr. Wilson.
I'll see Lynn Warner again if she wants me to. Peace.
Truce.
Right.
Having a quiet little read, are we?
Oh, anything the matter with that, Miss Bennett?
No. How are you getting along in here, Davidson?
All right.
No trouble with the others?
No.
Good. Well, they tell me you're the governor's niece.
Yes.
And it's because you did the right thing, the wise thing, that I'm back here doing my duty. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, I think we'll get on very nicely, Davidson.
I hope so, Miss Bennett.
And how did you two get to know my aunt?
We get around. I met Doreen and Frankie when they were working for a door knock appeal. They do a lot of work for charity. Yeah, we take from the rich and give to the poor. I asked them in for a cuppa, and we've been good friends ever since.
Yes, well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Good friends and a bit of company. I'm usually too busy. Oh, look, I'll just change the record and then we'll really have a celebration, eh?
How long are you going to be with them matches?
I'm getting there.
Give them to me.
No.
Give us them. You couldn't light it with a flamethrower.
Oh, get off.
Now, girls, I don't mind 20, really.
I'm just going to make a phone call to my boss and tell him I might be a bit late in the morning. Hello, put me through to the police. Yes, it's an emergency. Hello, look, I've got to talk fast. You know.
You'll have to talk faster than that, Trevor.
You didn't fool me for a minute. I know who you two are. I've seen your photos in the paper. And you're holding my auntie a prisoner in her own home, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. We're holding a prisoner. Think you're clever, don't you?
It's dead easy, silly old cow. All we had to do was move in. Nothing she could do about it.
Well, what are you going to do now?
Can't have you two talking to the cops, can I?
Put him in here, Frankie. There's lots of room in here, and it's got a key too.
In. One word out of you, Trevor, and they'll be calling you Sally. Better tie the old bat up and gag her.
Here you are, dear. Oh, and take this too. You'll need it, I should think.
Oh, Miss McBride, you shouldn't.
Don't be stupid. Thanks, Auntie. See you around. Come on, you.
It's been terrific, really.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside the roses grow, they don't mind the stony ground, but the roses here are prisoners too when morning comes around.